The wait is over. Ladies and gentlemen, the man is here less than 24 hours before the biggest match of his career. And well, will he be smoking a victory cigar? Well, he probably will light up here tonight, but I'm sure if it goes his way tomorrow night, 325 7th Street in Parkersburg, West Virginia, he very well could have a victory cigar or two. And he's going to talk about this match that we have been talking about here for weeks on Sportswire Radio. We are going to talk about the stipulation now, which all but I would say favors our man here before us. And we're going to talk about what if he doesn't win tomorrow. Well, we're going to definitely not talk about that too much, but we'll get into a number of things, and we'll even get into his own promo that he cut on Facebook and Instagram, and everybody else had seen it on different platforms that most certainly is going to set the stage here for tomorrow night. Will our guest finally cease and desist La El Shaddai from that legit alternative wrestling World Heavyweight Championship? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, we're going to find out. But before we get there and set the tables for tomorrow night, since I know you're waiting for it in the chat, he's most certainly waiting for it, and I ran all the way here. I didn't think I'd make it. I was sweating through my pants and my t-shirt. I hear a promo about my platform mentioned, and people were like, we're not going to do this tonight. No, I'll get here. Superman doesn't take a break. We don't certainly do that. We are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Just like the post office, rain, snow, or sleet, nothing keeps us away. It is now time, because we are in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that our guest and legit alternative wrestling most certainly helped build here. Sportswire Radio, to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. And they say nobody tunes in and nobody listens. But in the words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, and start this show off in style on the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one sports show. He is the Three Rivers champion in Express Wrestling. And tomorrow, he squares off for that legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight championship. Ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons, his name is, simply put, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick champ is here. My friend, how are we doing?
Well, after an introduction like that, with a nice new flavor to that, I notice. A lot more jocund than I was just a few moments ago. How about yourself, Reverend?
Ask me when we're off the air, because my voice does hurt and I was sweating just to get here. But that's the magic of live TV. There's no records. There's no take two, take three, take four. We do things the way you see it right here. And you have been quite the topic the last month. You certainly have a lot before you. And I want to get into it for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, Godrick, Sandwell, and legit alternative wrestling most certainly helped build here. Sportswire Radio. Tell us what we can expect tomorrow night. You and La El Shaddai for that legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight championship.
Well, if earlier this month was any indication, I would expect brutality. I would expect blood, especially coming from him, because I get to get my hands on that one more time. But also, what you can expect and will happen is yours truly, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, and for as long as I need to be, the devil in the blue coat is your new LAW heavyweight champion.
I want to ask you, I know I've asked this question last appearance, but with everything that's at stake, tomorrow night, 325 7th Street, Parkersburg, West Virginia, doors open 6 o'clock, bells 6:30 p.m. You're going to be the main event. And what will it mean to you tomorrow night? You claim that legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight championship.
From a simpler perspective, becoming a heavyweight champion for, as a matter of fact, the very first time in my career, I'll let you know exactly how I feel when I get to that point. Not if, when I get to that point. But from from kind of more of a personal perspective, not only winning that championship, but also setting a wrong right with Pepper Pride, with Day Jameson, with Judo Jones. La El Shaddai has run roughshod recently, and unfortunately, he's left a few of even some of my closer friends and associates in his wake. Tomorrow night, this gentleman, this devil in the blue coat, make sure he pays for it.
You know, I want to ask you, because I had Michael McMoney here and we talked a lot about you and that world heavyweight championship. And I want to start before I get into that and go into saying that tomorrow night could almost be a changing of the guard, legit alternative wrestling. Obviously, we've got Day Jameson and Timothy Titan. We'll see what happens there. We've got the Indie Division Championship. We've got Daniel Tafua, Soul Taker, Pepper Pride, who you just mentioned, and Mickey Knuckles. And that's the first Indie Division champion will be crowned there in that 4-way death penalty match. And certainly your main event that you could very well see a changing of the guard here, almost a change in direction for legit alternative wrestling, for the way going forward. Do you feel like tomorrow night could very well be a new path that's about to come to legit alternative wrestling with your match? Certainly Day Jameson and Timothy Titan and the Indie Division Championship. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, to say that there could be a new direction would be a gross understatement, because there will be a new direction. I'm not going to take anything away from La El Shaddai, just speaking on my behalf first. My issue on this specific regard is more with Tommy Hoare trying to make sure that he just whatever he can do, whatever slimy little games he can play, just to hang on to what he calls his championship. It's like, no, it's La El Shaddai's heavyweight championship. And a piece of credit that I have given him, and I will always, he's never ducked a challenge, at least willfully to my knowledge. As far as the Indie Division Championship goes, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a brand new champion crown, guaranteed. That's
the first one. I mean, people remember the first, and obviously all four certainly can lay claim to that championship. Tafu was here, and he certainly talked about a lot what it would mean to him. McMoney spoke a lot about that yesterday on the show. But I really do feel like tomorrow night in Parkersburg, West Virginia, 325 7th Street in the Richardson Building, we could see a new path, a new direction in legit alternative wrestling. Maybe more of a traditional direction kind of going into your match, especially if you win that world championship. Because I think right now, the way this company goes forward, it's going to all determine, I think, on tomorrow night. And your match is front and center.
And I do agree with that sentiment entirely. Again, I'm not going to take anything away from La El Shaddai. As far as what the relationship between him and Mr. Horror is concerned, I don't know. I really don't want to know. But the fact that La El Shaddai has gone in there, he has done what he was supposed to do. He has defended the championship when, well, Mr. Horror allows it, of course, but he still did it. I got to give credit where the credit is due, even for a Cambion. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But as far as a new direction goes, I have no problem leading things in a more, how would you say, or how have you said it, I should say, in a more
traditional way. And that leads me into what the Law Council has decided on, is that this championship match can change hands on a disqualification or a count out. And this is going to be a traditional wrestling match. Now, I asked McMoney this question, and I'm going to ask you because you're going to be in the ring there tomorrow night against La El Shaddai. Do you think, or are you prepared for whatever reason, any tricks, anything up the sleeves of Tommy Horror and La El Shaddai? Because even though on paper, this screams like this should be your match, this should certainly be where you win the legit alternative wrestling championship, hands down. But I heard that last month. I heard that on April the 2nd. Even Timothy Titan said it. And he said it here last night. So I've heard this story before. But from your vantage point, in your mind, do you think or are you expecting anything in the playbook from La El Shaddai and Tommy Horror coming up here tomorrow night?
As much as I honestly would rather not think that they would stoop to these depths, yes, I am expecting some sort of trickery. I'm expecting some sort of little caveat or little ace up the sleeve, so to speak. But what that's going to be, unfortunately, that's difficult to say. But La El Shaddai, at least with my, como se dice, dealings with him, he's been pretty straightforward. He's been pretty in my face about things, and that I do have a lot of respect for as well.
Well, that was brought up that you and I guess La El Shaddai maybe have a meeting of the minds, maybe a mutual respect, and I suppose that's the case. But I want to bring up something that I asked Michael McMoney, which led to me announcing you coming on, even though we've already said it. And you might want to have a victory cigar tomorrow night as well, from what you're telling us. But what if you don't win tomorrow night? Yeah, you keep smoking, by the way. You might want to keep smoking the cigar because I know it's enjoying an early victory cigar. But what if you don't win tomorrow night? And McMoney's exact words were, it won't be no that you won't win the World Heavyweight Championship, but not yet. You heard those words. You heard them loud and clear. And what happens for whatever reason you don't walk away from 325 7th Street in the Richardson Building, Parkersburg, West Virginia, without that Law World Heavyweight Championship?
Well, first of all, I do not encourage or condone anybody smoking. Please do so responsibly if you must.
I do appreciate that because we did have McMoney talk about welfare and those that he was degrading who were on welfare. And I did want to point out that that is not our position on this platform. And I have had family that were on welfare. I was never on welfare. Neither was my parents, because my dad was always like, we have to go out there and work. And I've been very fortunate that I have worked very hard, but same here with smoking. Yes, so you want to smoke, you're welcome to, but we appreciate the PSA there for you.
As always, got to cover all the bases.
Yes.
As far as Mr. McMoney goes, yes, I was here for that. Obviously, you know that. There is that possibility that La El Shaddai may get the better of me. I know he holds a lot of experience. I know he holds a lot of mysticism behind him. I'm sure he's got some things up his sleeve that even I can't see coming.
Mm.
But as far as am I worried about a scenario like that? I can't be worried about that. The only thing that I really can concern myself with is not if I can win this. It's not a matter of I can or can't. It's quite literally
Right.
straightforward. I'm going to win that championship. I am going in there. I'm going in there with one championship, but I'm coming out of Parkersburg tomorrow with two.
I want
That
to touch
is my
upon that for a minute. Yeah, I want to touch upon that for a minute in the context of tomorrow night. And I'm going to put up actually the poster here, which is going to certainly see you in La El Shaddai. And again, it has been quite a battle and it is coming to an end here. I think I can say with certainty here. Tomorrow night, it is cease and desist. And it's La El Shaddai and Godrick Sandwell for the Law title. The doors open 6 o'clock Eastern time. Bell time is 6:30, and it's only $10 to get in there. But you win back the Three Rivers Championship. We know how controversially, not to use the name of Wyatt Black, that you lost that championship, but you gained it, and you gained it in very hard fought fashion. I mean, you certainly went the distance literally to win that. So, do you use that to kind of give you that confidence to say, hey, I've got my mojo back. I had a championship that I held here for, I think, pretty much half the year last year. And to use that as the confidence that you need going in tomorrow night to finally get over the hurdle and finally win the big one.
I think that's pretty fair to say. The fact that I'm a champion at my home promotion, that means I can go anywhere at any time, and any championship that I set my sights on, I know I can take it whenever I choose to. And Lyle Shaddai better keep his eyes open for this devil in a blue coat.
Ooh, yeah. Well, we're gonna definitely get into that, and obviously, you wrestled in a match on April 2nd that was bloody, that it was intense, and McMoney spoke about that at length. Are you expecting then, let's say, in a traditional sense, to still have that intense match that you had on April 2nd? I mean, you're going to need probably a lot from the fans. You're going to need a lot that's going to ride on this. So let me ask you, are you expecting just as an intense of a match here tomorrow night as the first one you had on April 2nd?
Actually, no, I'm not expecting as intense.
Okay.
But actually, let me elaborate on that thought just a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'm not expecting as intense. I'm actually expecting more intense
Oh,
because
okay.
this really is for all the marbles. This is just him and just me, and that's it. Every stop, every trick, every pump, every circumstance, whether he's got it and or I have it, I want to see every single ounce of what La El Shaddai has to offer me, because when I win, then he has no excuses. And I'm not sure if he can live with that would be proper to say, but it's a best I got.
Well, I mean, obviously, he's not going to be happy with it. There's certainly, no question that he wouldn't be happy with the outcome. And Tommy Horror certainly won't be happy with the outcome. And I know there's some people here in the chat building up. And I do want to say, if you're out there in places like Pennsylvania, where we've heard you've had some power outages and different things out there, please be safe out there. And thank you very much for joining us. I will get to the chat in a minute. And if you are here on YouTube, go hit the sub button for our friends here in Legit Alternative Wrestling. And we are certainly talking with Godrick Sandwell about his match here coming up for the Legit Alternative Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. Okay, let me ask you then this question. I know I've asked you this question so many times the past 7 or 8 months, but is the preparation different this time versus last month?
It absolutely is. Again, going into April 2nd, I had something of an inkling of what to expect. I know La El Shaddai is barbaric. I know La El Shaddai is a Cambion, so I have to bring almost everything and the kitchen sink. This time, in that specific regard, it's not going to be
Okay.
much different. Thankfully, I have friends in high places like Gabriel, like Michael. I also have friends in low places like Lucifer himself. I also am quite familiar with the great Leviathan. I am also great friends with Beelzebub. So no matter what the case is, I've got him covered this time. So there is no surprises. There's no tricks that he can't stoop to that I won't see coming.
And obviously, the fact that it's a traditional wrestling match has to make you feel very confident. We spoke a bit about that with McMoney, and touching on that again. I mean, this is your environment. I mean, last time I had you on here, if you recalled, I talked about you were basically the road team. You were basically in an environment that you hadn't really been in, a style of wrestling that you don't usually partake in. But this match coming up tomorrow night, it's your home field advantage. You're the home team this time. I mean, this is your environment. This is your match. So you got to be feeling a lot more confident this time than 28 days ago because this is your match. You're the home team.
And you are correct on that. Let's see if La El Shaddai can go hold for hold and touch for touch and whatever else in between. I know he's quite the brawler. I still have a couple of marks on my ribs to prove that statement.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Well, a little known fact about yours truly. He knows a little bit of pugilism himself. So let's
Oh,
see if he can stand up to my fists as well.
well, I guess I'll have to ask you then because you said when you'll win the legit alternative wrestling championship here tomorrow night. You're probably bringing a cigar or two with you then, right?
I just
Do
might
they,
do that.
they
I
allow
may
you
have
to
a
light up in the ring? What is it like in West Virginia? Do they allow you to light a cigar in the ring after you win? Are you allowed to have one of those?
Um, because of the audience, I don't know everybody's sensitivities. If there's kids in the
Probably
audience,
not.
I just
Probably not.
would really rather not.
But
I'd
I'm
rather do
sure once you win it, when you're backstage or outside the venue, I'm sure, yeah, there's going to be a cigar or two that you're going to be lighting up. So from that standpoint, you're definitely bringing a cigar here with the expectation to win the championship and being Godrick two belts. I mean, boy, I mean that's quite a sounding thing there. I mean, Godrick two belts, and I mean that's got to be something that excites you then.
oh, more than excites me. It's a friend of mine put this to me some time ago that it's not a prediction. It's not even a prophecy. It's a certainty. They just don't know
Um,
it yet. So let's bring it to fruition, shall we?
Well, you know what? We're going to do that here in a few minutes, and I'm going to get to the chat because I know that the challenger is obviously a very busy man. I want to get to everybody here in a few minutes, but if you are here, do me a favor. Go hit the follow button for Legit Alternative Wrestling here. Check them out on Instagram. Also, check them out on YouTube, Facebook. If you want to buy a ticket and watch Godrick Sandwell and La El Shaddai, you can certainly do that still. There are a limited amount of tickets available, and we certainly want to hope that you want to go to the show. You can on my dime, but we are here with Godrick Samuel. So let me get to some comments here because a lot of people want to talk with you. Zilla is here as always. Zilla is first, and not she is not the last in line. To quote Mr. Ronnie James Dio, but hello Zilla, thank you very much. And Mr. Omen Black is here, who I know was obviously expecting to do a podcast, but he'll just stay on his platform where he knows that come rain, snow, or sleet, I'll still be here regardless. But that's okay. I'm sure they'll figure that out, the Indie Vision podcast guys. But my main man, Godrick Samuel, from one champion to another. I want to
My
say hello to my
good,
buddy, Mr. J Rod from the Promo Wrestling World. And yeah, it's been a minute. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please hit the sub button for our friends in law. And also, let me get to Omen Black again. The day that Godrick Samuel and Omen Black step in the ring across from each other would be money and, more importantly, an honor. I mean, that would be quite a sight. You as the Three Rivers champion and the Law champion, and Omen Black, the IMF champion, LAW versus IMF. I mean, champion versus champion. I mean, that'd be like almost Bob Backlund and Ric Flair once upon a time. Bob Backlund was the WWF champion, and Ric Flair was the NWA champion, and they squared off with those titles. And maybe that's something that, we could see here. I mean, they talked about it in some underground fed with some indie guy, and they kind of pulled a rib on Omen Black, and it didn't happen. But if you win, as you say, when you win tomorrow night, the LAW champion versus the IMF champion, that sounds like could be an interesting thing that people might want to see.
You want to talk about a date with destiny, Mr. Omen Black? I would certainly relish such an opportunity.
Well, I mean, that could be. I do want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Silas Walker, who's also getting ready for a match of his own right this weekend. It's not about the strongest. It's not about the toughest. It's about who is the smartest. And I believe Godrick Sandwell has that locked down when it comes to this match. Is that something you're relying on? Your ring savviness, your psychology, your veteran ability to adapt to different situations? That's something that you're going to be relying on here tomorrow night?
Oh, you better believe it. I am going to be bringing some strength. I am going to be bringing a ton of toughness because, trust me, I'm going to need it. But to Mr. Point, yes.
What you went through to get the Three Rivers Championship and what you went through with La El Shaddai in the last few weeks, I mean, how are you feeling physically? I mean, you talked about your ribs, but you went through a lot in that Rumble to win back the Three Rivers Championship, and what you went through with La El Shaddai. I know we'll see it eventually on the Legit Alternative Wrestling YouTube page, but how are you feeling? I mean, physically going into this?
Physically, I mean, I've got a couple things that I'm dealing with. I mean, nothing outside of the normal aches and pains that just comes with the career.
Like shoulder pain you had like 4 months ago when you were on here. You had a shoulder injury, and that was it was almost like painful to have you on here. I literally felt bad you were on Sports. I'm like, you sure you want to do this? You were like, yeah, no, I want to do it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it may not have been my wisest decision at that particular time. I do agree with that, but the fact is, when somebody steps up and wants to face me, I can't say no to a challenge.
Definitely no question about that. Let me get to some more comments. If you'd like to go, again, follow Law on YouTube. Also, yep, true that. And we had a tornado through our area around 7 p.m. All is well, other than the trees taking bumps. The trees taking bumps. Get it? And, the Trees was a great Rush song, by the way, but I'm not going to go and talk about that for a different day. Taxi Beep Beep. I think I know who this is. Taxi Beep Beep. Well, it's you know what? I think Silas pretty much talked about some people that would have been here are unfortunately dealing with a power outage. So that does happen.
Yeah.
And, the last few nights have been extremely lively, but we have some more comments here. So we do have they're coming in here. Hello to Omen and to the IMF gang. Thank you, J Rod. Hello to Ox McCoy. Also, all very good points. There you go. All very good points about what's ahead. And hello. Who else we have here? Yep, hit the follow button for Legit Alternative Wrestling. And go Godrick. And go Godrick. And,
you kind.
This guy here seems like he is certainly going to give Omen Black a message that he's not going to be the IMF champion. It's you when you win. But this guy, he would like to be the IMF champion. His name is Justin Parsley. And I hear through the grapevine that he's a big fan of Dave Jameson, a man that you've obviously rode around to and wrestled with. And, so obviously he might be the one that's looking to opine to wrestle you sometime, because he says Omen pandering to anyone who would give him more relevancy. Keep your eyes open with that one. What he's basically telling you is not to trust Omen Black, because what he's telling you from his vantage point, doesn't mean this is my vantage point. He's saying that Omen Black is almost like your version of La El Shaddai. That's what he's saying. I don't agree with that, but that's what he's trying to imply.
I mean, maybe not, but hey, as far as this gentleman is concerned, whether I'm simply a gentleman or the devil in the blue coat, if you want to step up and have a match with me, all you got to do is ask.
Well, you're here right now, so I think that's pretty much could be challenge accepted. But let's get to some more comments here. I butchered that. Well, I can't repeat that, but he said that if Godrick fails, Ox will prevail. Ox wants, he wants La El Shaddai. We'll see about that. We got some more comments here. Now the chat's coming in here. Mr. Daniel Tafua, the Godrick Sandwell, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, a man that he still has unfinished business with you, sort of. He talked about the Three Rivers Championship, and he wants that Indie Division Championship. And Mr. Tafua is here, and you know him very well. And I mean, I still don't know who's going to walk away and win that championship tomorrow night, but Tafua has definitely made a strong case, and Michael McMoney seemed to have agreed that he could be the one that benefits most from it.
I don't disagree. Between Mr. Tapua, the Soul Taker, Mickey Knuckles, everybody's favorite ant, and Pepper Pride.
You've been in the ring with Pepper Pride and Soul Taker, you know extremely well. I mean, I don't know what to say in that match.
I have no earthly, unearthly, interdimensional idea of how to call that. I really don't. But a gentleman does assure you that's going to be a match to watch for sure.
Absolutely. And I do want to plug that there. You can see the poster of it. And the Soul Taker, a man that does the weather, and Daniel Tafua, who's been in the ring with Soul Taker and is upset with him, and understandably so. And Pepper Pride, who I say it all the time, is a protege of this guy, Rhino. And then there's Mickey Knuckles, who has been in POR and is in the X Brand Wrestling's Wicked 13 tournament with the likes of Jimmy Controversy and some others. So quite a resume there, and quite a list of names in that match. Let me get to some more comments. And Justin Parsley, that's a case of the pot calling the kettle black, if you catch my drift. Well, maybe Mr. Parsley should worry about, he actually has to wrestle Omen Black next Saturday, so he's the guy that would stand in the way of your title versus title match. But maybe Mr. Parsley would like to have that match himself, but he is a man that is accomplished quite a bit. He is the hall monitor of Sportzwire Radio, but he's got his hands full with Omen Black, and Omen Black is a very big boy, and we're going to be talking a lot about that next week at length next week. So we'll come back to
that. On that.
And I see now that here we go, more comments. Really, remember that most of these opportunities have come to me. All hail the king. Yeah, well, there you go. But we'll have to see. Hello to Daniel Tafua. And more comments. Let me come back to them. I am sorry. Did Parsley say something with any truth? No. Oh, of course. Just be careful, Justin. You're not facing Omen at Rage in the Cage. Yeah, they're going to be faced in a cage where Mr. Parsley can't run away. I mean, he could walk out of the cage, but Omen Black's a big boy, and he's going to certainly make Justin Parsley think about this. And this is a match that's been a long time in the making, but we're going to talk a lot about that next week. But let's get to some more comments. You were the chosen one, Justin. You were supposed to destroy the foundation, not join it. And heathens are all, see, the heathens are all up in the gentleman's chat. They said the chat was quiet. Well, it ain't quiet anymore.
Not anymore.
I want to say hello to my buddy Trivco Kid, all the way out in California, for my very good buddy Darrow Johnson and some others, West Coast Wrestling. And how are you doing, my man? Mr.
How you doing?
Said, I need the Mad Hatter from you tomorrow, Mr. Sandwell. The Mita Liga told me that you shall not fail. You need to prevail. Listen to the whispers, and you will understand.
I know well when Mr. Tapua is talking about these whispers that he spoke of. I do confess did torment me at one point, but now I kind of understand them. I understand where this is coming from, and it's there's a couple of things that obviously maybe a gentleman shouldn't really speak of, but
Well, I could see it. Obviously, it's a touchy subject. I could certainly see. I'll move on. If you can, go hit the sub button for our friends in Legit Alternative Wrestling. They are closing in on 150 subs. I remember when they came on here, they had less than 100. So every single one adds up. If you haven't yet, go sub to them. And I will get to some more comments here. Also here, we will go back to now. Yeah, we got that. there's a day of reckoning coming. I did want to ask you for a few minutes on that. Obviously, Dave Jameson, you're very well aware of. And then there's, Timothy Titan, who, was pretty complimentary, I have to say, last night about you. He thinks you're going to win tomorrow. But this is what's to be Mr. Titan's last match, but it's a match that's pretty much, well, it ain't really a sanctioned match, but it's also for the USWA Keystone Championship, which Mr. Jameson holds. And what do you think happens there?
Well, firstly, I'm a little bit disappointed that Mr. Titan's going to have his last match. I was hoping that him and I could have a little tussle ourselves, but no feelings being aside. Second, Mr. Titan, I do appreciate your vote of confidence. Third, as far as an unsanctioned match goes, the instant that I heard about that, I started getting just, oh my Lord, I can't describe the horror that kind of went through my mind, because I do understand how Day operates, and for Mr. Titan to push him to this point,
even forced him to defend his USWA, I guess, a Keystone Championship. I mean, that's something that he really has fought hard to hold, and Daniel Tafua wrestled him for that, and that means a lot to him, that championship. But now it is going to be on the line here tomorrow night.
And knowing Mr. Jameson as well as I do, I'm pretty sure he would have put that championship up for grabs, whether he was asked to or not. That's just the type of fighter that he is. Now, whether it's the, pardoning a pun here, smart money, that's hard to say. But I said it some time ago, and I'll say it here. Do I envy Mr. Titan's position? Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, that was a big thing in the chat last night with Mr. McMoney. It seemed like a very heavy pro Dave Jameson crowd, but Timothy Titan is a veteran. Timothy Titan is somebody, I mean, he has no choice but to have something up his sleeve. I mean, his back is against the wall, but this is his last match. I mean, do you think that the veteran pulls something out here that maybe the young, maybe not as experienced Dave Jameson could worry about? I mean, objectively speaking, you know Dave very well, by the way. You know Dave very well. You've traveled up and down the road with him in different places. You've shared a few locker rooms with him, but do you think that that's something that Dave may have to worry about? Maybe Titan has something up his sleeve, or not really?
Honestly, if Mr. Titan didn't have something up his sleeve, if he didn't have something or someone waiting in the wings for Mr. Jameson, I would actually be quite astonished.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we'll have to find out from Day. Day is coming on to Sportswire right away here, coming up after this match. So will it be a victory celebration for Dave Jameson? I don't know, but or maybe it'll be what happened. I mean, I don't know. Those are questions we're going to find out. But I'm looking forward to having Day on here. It has been a minute since Day has been on Sportswire, and we'll see what he has to say. I'm excited about the match, and whatever it might be. I do know a lot of blood is going to be spilled in that one. Your match, maybe not so much this time, but in that one, it seems like they're going to definitely do a few things to each other. Hit the sub button for our friends-in-law. And also here, let's get to some more people. Unlock your true self and set Shaddai free. Unlock your true self. Devil in the blue coat have something to do with that, or unlock your true self?
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Mr. Tafua is looking for. And, well, if there's anybody that's in a position to be able to perhaps free Shaddai from Tommy Horror's control, maybe it's up to yours truly to be able to do just that. And if I'm able to accomplish such a feat, then I would be most honored to do so.
All right, let me ask you this question. We're here with Godrick Sandwell, of course, the gentleman of exquisite caliber. He is the Three Rivers champion. He's here for a little while, and obviously he is going to be in the ring tomorrow night, Parkersburg, West Virginia, 325 7th Street, the Richardson Building, where he will be against La El Shaddai, where that legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight championship is on the line. And guess what? The championship can change hands on a disqualification and a count out. So that certainly evens the odds and certainly makes it a more fair or a more level playing field for the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively, where all music and wrestling matters here on Sportswire Radio. But let me ask you this question. And I know I touched upon that we could be seeing a new era of law tomorrow night. We could be seeing a new direction. But let's say hypothetically, Tafua wins tomorrow night. Let's say Jameson retains his title. Titan's career is over, and you win. You win here coming up tomorrow night and win that Law World Heavyweight Championship. Do you see yourself as the leader in legit alternative wrestling? Do you see yourself as that leader of this new era that could be dawning upon us?
From an outsider's perspective, they would probably say yes. For me personally, I'm too modest to be able to say oh, I'm going to be this big bona fide leader. I'm going to lead the
But
charge.
the world champion's that leader. Usually, it's the champion. The buck stops here with the champion. Everybody looks at in terms of attendance, butts in the seats, and subs on YouTube, followers on Facebook and Instagram. It's all about who's the guy on top, and you would be that guy to most. They would look at it and say, Godrick Sandwell, he's the leader of this new direction that Law is about to be in, if that's what happens tomorrow night.
That's right, it would be. Again, I'm not going to be so arrogant as to say that I'm like the bona fide, top dog, even though that's what the case is actually going to be. And I do understand that. That would be an incredible responsibility that I am beyond happy to undertake.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I mean, obviously, look, you still got to get there. I'm not going to ask you about this Sanctuary Battle Royal. And, this guy Pav Novak had a promo about it, talked about Michael McMoney, and then talked about Sportswire. And, I'm going to say, I'll let the record speaks for itself. I'll let the, people decide and what they think and then who tunes in. I think people have seen who's come on here, but I'm going to, leave that at that. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of the Sanctuary Battle Royal, didn't you have like a special guest last night?
The hype man Dan Lasers who came on here and talked about his history into it, and he also addressed you. Now, I mean, I could definitely touch upon that. I mean, what was your reactions toward that, and would you want to match with the hype man Dan Lasers? What was your opinions on some of his comments here last night?
Well, I've gotten to know him a little bit as of recently.
Okay.
Terrific human being in my eyes. For anybody that's watching,
Cool Runnings, by the way, he looks like Leon who plays in Cool Runnings, and he also was one of the Temptations in the. There was a movie years ago. They used to play it on VH1, and he was one of the Temptations, which was a Motown group, and he looks like him.
Don't tempt me with the Temptations right now. That sounds pretty good.
It did. It was a great movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Somebody will probably ask me now, "Are you going to get Leon on Sportswire?" I'll take the hype man Dan Lasers first, but go ahead.
But yeah, as far as Mr. Lasers goes, if anybody's watching this that's looking for an up-and-coming premier talent, Dan Lasers would be one of those guys I would recommend in, again, I will say this, kind of parting a pun here, in a New York microsecond. I'd pick this.
Yeah, New York. It's usually New York minute. You use New York microsecond. But, he talked about his match with McMoney. It went 20 minutes. They could have obviously did longer. I'm sure we'll see it on the WVWF YouTube page here in a matter of days. I have the Double L, the Lovable Lester. He'll talk about that, I'm sure, coming up on Monday night. He'll have, I'm sure, plenty to discuss about that. But, I mean, this is a guy that's come into the company in a short amount of time. And if he wins this Sanctuary Battle Royal, and I guess since you touched upon, now I don't know what's what. Obviously, Mr. Novak had a few things to say about his issues with Mr. McMoney. I'm going to leave that to those individuals. The only thing I'll say further on that is that I think that when you have Rhino sit in the chair that you're in and anybody else that comes into the same chair as Rhino, Savio Vega, Great Whites, Mark Kendall. Well, happy birthday, by the way, Mark Kendall. Zebras, Randy Jackson. King's X's Doug Pinnick, who only played in Woodstock and opened up for AC/DC on their second biggest tour, which was the Razor's Edge. And then also Brian Damage Forsythe from this band Kicks that just played their final show in front of 15,000 people. We were featured not once but twice in the heavy metal version of Rolling Stone called blabbermouth.net. There's somebody else watching out there. So I'll let the people decide that. I'm not going to get in the business of that. And, I welcome anybody that comes on here. But should, I guess, he wins this battle royal, you win tomorrow night, you would have a match with Dan Lasers, apparently. Well, what's your feelings on that?
Yeah. A hype man and a gentleman. Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons.
That's right. And as far as I'm concerned, you better get your tickets way in advance because those are going to fly quickly because that's going to be a match to behold.
That's going to definitely be a fly-by-night there. But, obviously he was very confident. He had a lot of charisma. He spoke very well. And that would be an interesting match. I mean, whether it would be for the LAW championship or not, I think a lot of people would be very interested in seeing something like that between you and him. Slightly different styles. And I think that the people of Parkersburg, West Virginia would love to see something like that. I don't know if it's next month or whenever it might be, but it's definitely a match that I'm sure would be on a lot of people's radars.
It would definitely be on my radar as well. There is no question about that whatsoever.
Let me get to some more comments. Michael McMoney is here, yesterday's guest. The devil in the blue coat will emerge tomorrow night. This is his fight and his night. Well, we'll certainly find out. I want to say hello to the legendary Doc Holliday, of course, from the GBYWN, the Riot in the Ring winner from our friends over at NEW, who wants to say hello, and we thank them for our support of the platform. And obviously, we thank everybody else here who's tuned in, and hello to both of them. Yes, hello to Timothy Titan. Is Timothy Titan here, by the way? I don't know if he's here. I hope he's here. I hope he's tuned in. And you would be the new leader. You would be the new leader. That's what I kind of think, because usually it's the champion that's the locker room leader. Usually it's the world champion where the buck stops here. And I think that tomorrow night, as you say, when you win the World Heavyweight Championship, the buck does stop here. You would become that guy. Everything is put on the World Heavyweight Champion. People talk about Roman Reigns and where WWE was. People go back in the 1990s and they look at an ushering of an era when Bret Hart becomes the World Heavyweight Champion for the first time in a new generation. We think about Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 14, the Attitude Era. We think about John Cena, the Ruthless Aggression Era. Now, maybe not so much for the way he won the championship. You think about all the different champions where people think in wrestling that it led to something different. And there's that possibility tomorrow night. Guys like yourself, guys like Daniel Tafua, guys like Dave Jameson could be at that forefront, and you would be at the helm, at the top, leading these guys and the rest of the LAW locker room to bigger and better heights.
And if that be the case, it would be my honor. It would be my privilege to be at the helm, to lead whoever wants to follow me into a new era, into a new part of history, whatever you want to call it. And I just promise you, I will do everything in my power to make sure I never let you down.
Well, we're going to certainly find out here. And again, Godrick Sandwell is competing for the legit Alternative Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship against the one and only La El Shaddai, who is the incumbent. Remember, and I said it last night on Sportswire Radio, all the incumbent has to do is, continue what the incumbent has done, which is retain that World Heavyweight Championship. But it's now in a traditional wrestling match, which is something that we haven't really seen La El Shaddai in, and that'll be a very, very interesting dynamic. And it would seem like the home team is Godrick Sandwell tomorrow. Let me get to some more comments, though. Win, lose, or draw, still the greatest wrestler in our locker room or any other that he's in. So it sounds like I'm on to something regardless. I'm definitely on to something. Let me get to some more comments. Legit Alternative Wrestling, it's kind of a new company, not to be confused with our friends in NEW Underground Wrestling, but Legit Alternative Wrestling has been around here pretty much since, I guess, maybe late last year, early this year. and
Yeah,
they have been a
it's
company that run. Yeah,
it's on the newer side, but it's not
new.
like
Yeah,
truly fresh off the press either. We've
yeah.
been around for more than a couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah, and you can catch some of their stuff in 325 7th Street in Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the Richardson Building. If you want to see some of their content, you can go to the Legit Alternative Wrestling YouTube page. Check them out on Instagram. Also, check them out on Facebook. They have a big following on Facebook, closing in on about 2,000 followers. And Godrick Sandwell is a part of that roster. So we'll certainly talk about that. Yep, there we go. What else we have here? Also, here, Daniel Tafua says he will walk out with you. He says, put the mask on and find out how to unlock your power. You need it for Shaddai, and you'll understand he's a zombified monster, and you need to be one too.
It's interesting, a zombified monster. I
Yeah.
believe the official term for that would be more of a revenant, which is also something I'm quite familiar with. I've had a share of revenants in my time.
There you go. I mean, Daniel Tafua, who knows a thing or two about battling monsters because he was in the ring with the Soul Taker. So he does know a thing or two about being in there with guys that are definitely very big and powerful and monster-like. And let me get to some more comments here. Dan Lasers is with me right now, and he said, you don't want the smoke. Just kidding. He said, just kidding. He said, just kidding. He said, just kidding. Make a deal with a nightmare, and you will meet the devil in the blue coat at the crossroads. Godrick, you still hear them. Don't you let them in and listen to the whispers. You fighting something inside. You know, you cut a promo a few days ago. And are you fighting something within, or is there something that's inside of you that's going to be a part of this match tomorrow night?
Yeah, truth be told, we all have our demons. Every single one of us.
No question.
Every single one of us have been, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's psychological. Yeah, and this gentleman is not exempt from that. I've done some things in my life that I'm not proud of. I've made deals that maybe I shouldn't have, but while it's also led me to where I am today. It's made me wiser, it's made me stronger, it's made me smarter. It's got me to a point where I face a Cambion for their heavyweight championship. It's allowed me to come across individuals like Mr. Tafua, like a Mr. Day Jameson, like a Dan Lasers, especially somebody like a Michael McMoney. It even led me, especially I probably should say, to Cam Blood's favorite demon of the Blood Beast. So be that as it may,
Are you
there's
fighting self-doubts? Are you fighting because I've had you on now a lot, right? You come on here every month, you and I talk where you are, and I'm going to say it, I think the last two appearances here on Sportswire have by far meant the most of any of your other appearances here combined. And the reason that is, I would have you on here, we catch up, and yeah, all right, you're talking about this place, talking about that one. You're going to get him next time. Yeah, I got history, but this has so much on the line because everything you've went through, just not only in these last several months, but in your entire career, I mean, it's all coming to an end. I mean, this chapter of you and La El Shaddai, no matter what happens tomorrow night in Parkersburg, West Virginia, is coming to an end. There's no question. McMoney said it here last night. Your career, your trajectory, no matter what, is going to change, win or lose. Obviously, you're going to say win, and by and large, most of the popular opinion is Godrick Sandwell is going to win tomorrow. But no question that this part of your career and this chapter is closing tomorrow. But maybe you are fighting self doubts. You've come up short. You certainly went through a lot last time with him. And even though that this is the home field advantage that you have, you couldn't ask for a better hand tomorrow night. You still haven't won the world heavyweight title. And La El Shaddai, he's still the incumbent. Maybe you're fighting self-doubts right now.
You know what? You're right.
No,
I am.
stop.
No,
That was simple as that. You're right. No, tell us more.
it's
Tell us more.
true. It's true. I'd be lying if I claimed otherwise because, as you've pointed out, I've been right on that cusp.
You've been knocking on that door, man. You've been. I said you. I compared you last
I've
night to
been there.
Buffaloes and everybody else. Those teams,
And granted, yes, the last time, in fairness, there were some more nefarious circumstances behind it, but it doesn't change what it was. Something that has absolutely bothered me throughout my life. I've met a lot of great people, even outside the wrestling business before I got in, of course, and
Sure.
a lot of people that I've been. I've done a lot of amazing things. I've been to places I can't even describe.
Well, you've traveled just to where you've wrestled, right? You've gone down south and you've gone up and
Mhm.
down the Northeast and the Mid Atlantic. And if you weren't a wrestler, how likely would it have been that you went to places like Tennessee or went to places like Ohio and all these even different spots in Pennsylvania and certainly here in West Virginia? I mean, you went to a lot of places and wrestled that if you didn't wrestle, would you have been there? I mean, that's a question that you'd only know the answer to.
Well, in terms of a wrestling capacity, you definitely got me there as well. But I'm talking about my life before
Okay.
wrestling. Everybody has a past. Everybody's done things, and a lot of people that I once considered a family, obviously, as sometimes circumstances force you to go different directions,
Yeah.
and I understand that. But there are some times that I, I'm not perfect. I've
Nobody
let
is.
I've let people down in the past. I've probably let more people down than I can remember. And truth be told, I see this I see this championship match, and I even saw the last one too the same way. That I'm trying not to get emotional
Yeah,
right now,
don't
but
cry on me, McMoney. Listen, we'll move on. McMoney, was in tears for a minute, and you're obviously because it means so much. I think that tomorrow night means a lot here coming up.
it's okay. I will say this, and if I break down, so be it. I've done it before. I'll do it again, I'm sure. But just like earlier this month when I got my Three Rivers Championship back, I let a lot of people down when I fell to Jace Carr. But earlier this month in that Berg brawl, I got a chance to make that right, and I did. And to call me jubilant after that would be
Right.
as gross an understatement as I can make.
Yeah, especially after the way you lost that title several months
Yeah.
back.
But as far as this goes, yeah, me and Pepper Pride, we didn't get off back off to the on the right foot. I do admit that, but it was business. She wanted the championship, so did I. I understand. And the fact that well, her boss kind of sent her after me didn't really help matters, but uh,
It's okay. No, you know what? We'll move on and get to the rest
fine.
of the people.
It's fine. I can do this.
You
It's
sure?
yes, I can do this. To have this opportunity one more time for Day Jameson, I would extend this courtesy to Robert Ketchum, although I'm sure he doesn't really want this.
We spoke a
for
lot. We
for
spoke a little bit about him yesterday as well with McMoney. Yeah, who
Mhm.
certainly.
for for Judo Jones, who I also consider a very good friend, and for Pepper Pride, and just watching El Shaddai do what he did to her was an affront. It was an insult to my intelligence. It was an insult to my decency. And he's still gonna try to. No, I cannot blame El Shaddai for this. I can't.
Can't
I
you can't blame him? No.
I I want to so badly. I want to, but there's more to this story than that. I'm sure of it, but I can't prove it. So I'm not going to comment any more on that. But
Okay,
what
all
I
right.
can what I can comment on right now is that La El Shaddai, he did it. He did for Pepper Pride's honor, especially La El Shaddai. I'm taking that championship away from him. That's all there
Oh,
is. It's if I have to become that devil that I wanted to push aside in order to be able to do just that, whether it's traditional rules, whether it's chairs, whether it's tables, whether it's Singapore canes, whether it's more blood than any human being should ever have to experience in their life. I don't care. I am walking in to Parkersburg just simply as the Three Rivers champion. I am walking out as the Three Rivers champion and the LAW champion. There is not a question about it. And I'm not stopping until either I win or if I have to pay the ultimate price to do that, to restore Pepper Pride's honor, to avenge my friends, then that is what I will do. That is a gentleman's word. And if it means what I think it means to some extent, and for anybody that for everybody that has faith in me, for everybody that has voted for me, that has the confidence in me to do this, thank you. And may I, if I don't come out of this championship match with that championship, then I will see you on the other side.
well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? If you had doubts about Godrick Sandwell, well, tonight he's showing you that this is going to be a different side of Godrick Sandwell, and maybe this is what he needs to finally get over the hurdle. Because sometimes you need to learn how to win. We talk about this all the time in sports. We talk about this all the time here on this platform. To get over the hurdle and finally win the big one, what Godrick Sandwell has just told us here about unleashing his within, the devil in the blue coat, but also doing this for the likes of Pepper Fried, for doing this for Day Jamison, everybody else, even Robert Ketchum. There's no question that Godrick Sandwell has something inside him that he hasn't had before in these big title matches. He hasn't had in him, even in the match going on April 2nd, because now he's learned what to expect. Now he knows what to do to walk out of 325 7th Street in Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the Richardson building with that legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight championship. And we say it, but this time it means something. This is a different Godrick Sandwell than the one we've seen here time and time again on Sportswire Radio. I know last month we said it. Oh, it's different with Godrick. Yeah, it's different. But no, what I'm seeing here, especially in the last 5 minutes, Godrick has something within that's very well now going to help him unleash that devil in the blue coat to help him win the big one and usher in a new era of legit alternative wrestling. We can get to some more comments. If you build it, they will come. And I'll tell you what, could very well be the case here coming up tomorrow night. Doc Holliday, yes, Omen Black should definitely talk to Doc Holliday. And if he doesn't, I will be the referee there on that, and I will actually help facilitate that. I won't walk out with him. It will be the mask, not me. The power is within the mask. Well, you showed us that power, and I think you're going to certainly be smoking a cigar or two here tomorrow night in Parkersburg. Hello to Dan Lasers. I think he was in the chat, but tonight, while you sleep, I will be in your nightmares. Not to hurt, but to find the red door to unlock your true potential. It's not going to be a nightmare or not even a daydream, but it will be your reality. Well, I think you've chosen to do what you need to do tomorrow night and win the big one. That's what I've learned here over the last few minutes. We can get to some more comments. That's actually the last one here. So I know that we've spoke a lot tonight about what's at stake. But the only thing left for me to ask you really is, do you have any final words for La El Shaddai before tomorrow night?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I do. All right. As I'm sure you've noticed, my background is pitch black. I'm dealing with a power outage.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. But let me ask you this, and I'm aiming this specifically at El Shaddai and whatever powers of mysticism or whatever that he may possess himself.
Go for it.
Do you really think that a power outage, whether it's localized or just me or taking out my study, do you really think that's going to shake me? Do you really think that taking away my time in the study, do you really think that that's what it's going to take to get inside my head? Do you really think it's going to shake me? It's going to shake my resolve? Do you really believe? Do you really believe that I'm not going to walk in there with one clear mission on my mind? No, scratch it. I've got two clear missions on my mind. Number one, your LAW championship. Forget Tommy Horror. It's you and me for that championship. Number one. And two, I have the honor. I have the faith of all my friends. I have the honor. I have the faith of all the fans that are behind me for whatever reason. They believe I can do this. I need to believe it too. And you know what? By whatever unhearing God or whatever unhinged demon or devil is here with us right now or will be with us pretty soon, it's going to be time. Because La El Shaddai, my guy, the time is drawing nigh for our last inevitable confrontation. And with the championship on the line, you had better bring everything that you have. Because this gentleman's going to bring everything he's got, everything that you know about. And apparently, according to Mr. Top, apparently, even this devil in the blue coat's got a couple surprises waiting that even he doesn't know about either. So, so you want to dance with a devil in a pale moonlight, Mr. Cambion? Get the party music, shine up your dancing shoes, put on the spotlight, and pay the band because, it's gonna be a dance, and it's gonna be a dance that Parkersburg, that whoever watches this now or later will never forget. And yours truly walks out with 2 championships. And La El Shaddai, it is business. But because you went after my friends, it's now personal too. And now I get it. This is what you wanted. Have it your way.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We asked Godrick Sandwell throughout the evening here, well, what if you don't win? And no, not yet. And we talked about the home field advantage. And we talked about what happens if you don't win. And Godrick Sandwell, it sounds like there's something unleashed in you. In fact, it's unleashed so much that my mic just dropped. because, well, you've dropped some bombs like no other. But apparently, I've received word that somebody's here that wants to say something to you, or maybe I should say, show you something. And only if you insist, I must bring this thing you might want to say on here right now.
Uh, no matter what people think of me, no matter what devils lie inside me, I'm still a gentleman, and if they wish to speak or show me something, let them.
You may be a gentleman, although tonight you've shown us that you do definitely have something in you that's unleashed. And it's going to be unleashed, I know, at 325 7th Street, Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the Richardson building. But let me now get to this, especially for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And what do we have here? Wait a minute. What? Whoa!
Mighty Lega.
It's Tafua! Oh!
Godrick, listen closely. Tonight, while you sleep and your nightmares roam free, just know I'm only here to help, not to hurt. And trust and believe tomorrow in Parkinsburg, I believe in you. And then the mighty Lega, he shall walk out with you. Not me, him. And while he's there by your side, you put this mask on and he will unlock your potential and he shall set you free.
Oh, he left! He left! The mighty Liga left! He just left! And Godrick Sandwell, maybe it's all coming to fruition. It's all coming because Wednesday is now less than 24 hours away. And your career, this new direction, something has been unleashed, and it's going to be unleashed at the expense of La El Shaddai in that World Heavyweight Championship. We are seeing here in the last 15 minutes the formation of a gentleman that has a devil in a blue coat that is being unleashed. And oh, this might be a traditional wrestling match, but not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing traditional about what we've seen tonight. There is nothing traditional about Godrick Sandwell and what he's saying, because these words are what's going to carry him to finally get over the finish line, because that mask that Daniel Tafua, the Mighty Liga, has shown us, and what Godrick Sandwell has shown us here tonight, is that this is a different Godrick Sandwell. He might have gentlemen of exquisite caliber. He might enjoy things of the highest caliber. He might like his devil's food, angel's food, cake, whatever he wants to call it, whatever he wants with it. But no, it ain't going to be eating any of that tomorrow. It's going to be about a devil in a blue coat that is being unleashed. And it's going to be unleashed to get him to championship gold and get him to where his career has never been before. And that is to be a world heavyweight champion. To quote Q-Tip, the world is yours and don't look back, because you could very well be, from what you're telling us tonight, Godrick 2 belts. That's right, Godrick 2 belts. Yes. And also, yes, good luck, my friend. Yes, we definitely want to wish him luck. That was definitely ominous. And yes, happy birthday to the one and only Dante O'Cara, a longtime friend of the show, a man that's been here many, many times. Also, happy birthday to a great white guitarist, Mr. Mark Kendall, who was in your chair 24 hours from 7 days last week. And at the same time, right around the 24-hour mark, he was here. It was literally in your chair. And happy birthday to the one and only legendary Mr. Mark Kendall. So birthdays are abound. Happy birthday to everybody to enjoy. But certainly you have unleashed something different. I pass the baton to you now for closing thoughts. The floor may be yours, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons, you can take it away for them.
Thank you, Reverend. It's an honor as always. There's really there's not much left that needs
No.
to be spoken at this point. I've said everything that I need to say. To La El Shaddai, every ounce of credit in the world goes to you in specific. Just to whatever deep part of the Malabulge that Tommy Horror spawned from, or whatever the case may be, whatever he created, I really don't care anymore. Because the fact is, you could have run away from me, Shaddai. You could have been called away from me, but you came straight at me. And I appreciate that. I'm asking you to do it. No, I'm not asking. Parkersburg is demanding it. The world is demanding it. The devil in the blue coat is demanding it. A gentleman is demanding it. The Reverend Tom Bryce is demanding it. Michael McMoney, all of the LAW Council is demanding it one more time. Come at me again. The championship on the line. Traditional wrestling match. There's going to be a winner, and that is a guarantee. And the guarantee is that a devil in a blue coat is going to be the new champion. And part of me wants to say, I'm so sorry to you, La El Shaddai. But I can't. I can't. I can't say I'm sorry because this is what I don't know if this is your doing, but I don't care anymore. You, whatever entity, whatever creature, even if it's Tommy Horror himself that wanted this, you got it. You wanted a devil to face a champion. Here I am.
Well, I'll tell you what, Godrick Sandwell, he very well may be channeling the shirt of the man that I have on, Mr. John Wick. Will he be our Mr. John Wick tomorrow night? And he's going through pretty much just about everything like John Wick has gone through in his career, and especially in legit alternative wrestling, to get that World Heavyweight Championship. And while John Wick might have on a suit and tie, Godrick Sandwell is going to be a devil in a blue coat. And that could very well propel him to come out of 325 7th Street in the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia, with that legit alternative wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. What you've heard from Godrick Sandwell here the last 20 minutes or so on Sportzwire Radio is a Godrick Sandwell that people have been waiting for a long time. And what they've seen the last 20 minutes, if you had any doubts that Godrick Sandwell couldn't do it, well, he's put them to bed, and he's going to put it all into fruition tomorrow night. And as I stated, walk away with that World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, the only thing left to do is to go there, watch it for yourself, go on the Facebook page, follow Legit Alternative Wrestling, also YouTube at Legit Alternative Wrestling Backspace Videos. Check them out on Instagram, and we will have coverage after this tomorrow night to talk about the fallout from this, and will we be going into a new direction, a new era in LAW. Daniel Tafua, obviously the Mighty Liga, certainly he played a huge role tonight. He had a lot to say. And we see players like Dave Jamieson. We see people like Robert Ketchum, the Pattersons. These are the people that could very well be alongside Godrick Sandwell to usher in this era for LAW. We will certainly find out. And I know, no doubt, that we're all excited about what's to come. Yes, happy birthday to Dante, and happy birthday to him. Thank you for that. But my friend, obviously, I echo Michael McMoney. Good luck. And Zilla is also rooting for you. She says good luck and cheering you on. And Daniel Tafua, what he just said certainly unleashed something that I think is going to carry you here less than 24 hours from now, where you might have a cigar or two. The whispers are around you, Godrick. Listen to them. Yeah, Godrick, those whispers are around you, and you might want to listen to them. There's no question that it seems like you are. And I think we've seen from you here in the last 20 minutes is, I think, more than enough to get you there, and anything we've not seen here before on this platform. And Doc Holliday's definitely listening, and he's put the monsters emoji, and we definitely need to get him here. But until then, my friend, I'm looking forward to seeing you here. Certainly next month, we will see if you are Godrick Two Belts. Also, you will be at Express Wrestling on May the 17th. I do want to give that a plug as well. So please go out there and check our friends over in Express Wrestling, Daniel Tafua, and I know people like Michael McMoney and others, Timothy Titan, are a part of the roster there. So please support our friends at Express Wrestling. Also, Max the Hammer, of course, he's a part of that. He'll be there tomorrow night, yes, and definitely check all of that out. And please support our friends over in LAW. They are less than 24 hours away from maybe the ushering of a new era cease and desist. And it sounds like the likes of La El Shaddai could be ceasing and desisting as the legit alternative wrestling world heavyweight champion and passing that baton to the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. My friend, thank you so much. Be safe out there, especially with the power outages and those tornadoes. I hope everybody that's tuned in from LAW has a safe travel, a good night's rest tomorrow night, and gets to Parkersburg safely. And I look forward to talking with everybody after the fallout from it. And thank you so much, champ. Good luck, and can't wait to talk with you after.
It is an honor as always, Reverend, and look forward to seeing me again very soon because it's going to be a doozy, I promise.
I have no doubt that will be the case. And that was the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, who is also the reigning defending Three Rivers champion from our friends over in Express Wrestling. He is also competing tomorrow night for that one and only legit alternative wrestling World Heavyweight Championship against La El Shaddai. And as a reminder, that championship changes hands here on either a disqualification or count out in addition to pinfall or submission. So any funny business, any strange things that go on, this certainly levels the playing field. But Godrick Sandwell tonight, he don't need any of that. He unleashed his devil in the blue coat, and Daniel Tafua, the mighty Liga, certainly helped us here and some to see that. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Please hit that sub button for our friends over in Law. Also, check us out here. Hit the sub button for us on Sportswire Radio. And also, we will be back here tomorrow afternoon with Jackson Blade. We will be here with Jackson Blade around 4 o'clock Eastern time. But until then, please support our friends over in LAW. Happy birthday to the one and only Mr. Mark Kendall. And set him free, set him free. I think we're about to see that in about 24 hours or so from now. But thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Be safe out there if you're still dealing with the power outages and the tornadoes and the wildfires. And if you're in the LAW locker room right now, safe travels, getting to Parkersburg. Can't wait to talk with you afterwards. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music matters, all wrestling matters. This is Godrick Sandwell. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. Hit the sub button for Law, hit the sub button for us. And until then, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon on Sportswire Radio. Take care, everyone.